injections if necessary.
So tell Reggie that I went the other way.
Yes. Uh-huh.
I had the shoulder replaced. You're in the hospital for a couple of days. You're doing it. It's a process.
Yeah. For sure.
And you get to know your physical therapist too well. But that being said, so in Reggie's case, it was amazing. So at 72 years old, he was able to get one shot, one treatment, and he's back to lifting weights, probably playing tennis or pickleball or whatever.
That's right. And after his procedure, once I started getting word of how he was doing, I actually continued to see him for quite a while afterwards because I wanted to get updates on how he's doing and help him with his rehab afterwards. And he did fantastic, so I just kept sending people over there. You know, I just sent more guinea pigs, you got to try this out. And so I had more and more patients go through it. And in fact, it was so successful that that's when I finally made my decision that I was going to sell out my interest in our practice. And I did. And I said, please take me, I'll take out the garbage. I'll, wipe down tables, whatever you need me to do. And they offered me a full-time position there at Seattle Stem Cell Center. So I took it.
Well, fantastic. So you've seen a lot of examples where stem cells have made demonstrative cases when it comes to orthopedics, but stem cells have other advantages and benefits as well.
Yeah, it really does. The stem cells, the reason we want the stem cells is not because stem cells will go into the body and they turn into new tissues in the body. Yes, they can do that, but that's not the primary purpose for getting stem cells. We actually harvest the stem cells because of something they produce, and those are these what are called extracellular vesicles. They're very, very small, tiny bubbles that are called exosomes, and they travel throughout the body in the trillions. We're talking super high numbers, okay? These are the signaling molecules that stem cells produce that tell the body to heal, mend, repair, okay? So if you send it through as an IV, which we do, then that floods the system. We flood the entire body with these regenerative signaling cells. So how could that be a bad thing? Okay, that's helping the body heal from the inside out. And that's what we're trying to accomplish by doing this. Not just the IV, but you can imagine if you were to take that and put it into an encapsulated joint, right? If we go into a shoulder, that's a fully encapsulated joint, meaning they can't get out. They're stuck in this capsule. And you flood that with tens of millions of stem cells, boy, good things are going to happen. It's going to be that way. And that's what happens.
So that's an orthopedic level, but let's talk about, their talk at least of stem cells being a cure for a lot of other diseases and a lot of maladies. Can you talk a little bit about
Sure.
that?
So first I'm gonna just call them the cure. So we don't like to say cure yet because we don't know. We haven't been doing this for a long enough period of time to really know if this is an actual cure for a lot of these systemic illnesses. We do know that it's incredibly effective for a lot of these things. The best success is really with what you would be calling autoimmune conditions, okay?
Crohn's disease.
That's right. People are becoming more and more familiar with them because we're seeing more and more of it. These are environmental, whether it's environmental toxins, some genetic predisposition, but mostly it's our environment, things that we're eating, drinking, breathing, that seem to be creating a epidemic of autoimmune conditions. So yes, Crohn's, lupus, MS, there's a whole long laundry list of them. Okay, many autoimmune conditions.
And environmentally, we're not getting any better.
No, I'm afraid not. And as much as we know to eat right, we generally don't. Most people, right? I mean, fewer and fewer people are making meals, right? They're going to Jack in the Box, or they're ordering out, or they're going for Chinese or whatever, right?
Yeah, you should be around my house we've had that discussion.
Yeah, so we're eating less and less in the home. We're eating more and more outside. So we're obviously getting more and more exposure to chemical pollutants, things that, anything that can make some food last on the shelf for a longer period of time is not good for you. Okay?
Exactly, yeah.
So we have to be careful of those things. But it is creating all these, it seems to be helping to create a lot of these autoimmune conditions.
And one of the things I'm going to circle back is something we discussed earlier, and because of a chiropractic relationship with your patients, you get to know them a little better. So you can discuss with them some things where I may have, when we had a chance to talk to earlier, I might have told you about my situation when I lived in Las Vegas. I would have 9 minutes with my primary care physician every visit. And typically it was once a year.
Yeah.
That's no way to develop a relationship and give good, solid advice to your patients.
Unfortunately, it's not. And you're right. The larger the corporate influence on that medical visit, the more and more you're going to see real limited time.
9 minutes.
You're going to have physicians saying, you can ask me 2 questions and that's it. You know, you'll just be seeing more and more of that. Unfortunately, when it comes to, as we see our healthcare costs rising all the time, but the ability to provide those services is also going up dramatically. And so, yeah, we're seeing more and more influence from the corporate world saying, we've got to shorten up visits, we got to do only symptomatic care, nothing that can heal, mend, or actually cure your patient, because that's too much costly of time and investment of time with patients. We need to be able to get people in and out in record time.
And
That's
it's
not-
really unfortunate.
It is. It's unfortunate.
So because of your relationship, so if you get a chance to meet a patient, really get to know them, you'll come up with recommendations, be it diet, exercise,
Right.
or in some cases, a stem cell treatment,
Mhm.
but whatever's best for them. And you don't feel that, and your patient care is part of a larger group. There are other people there to support your patients.
Yeah, we do. We have a real nice group of practitioners. We've got 2 anesthesiologists who are fantastic people, do excellent work. We have myself and another chiropractor there in the office. We have medical assistants and a nurse practitioner who also help us with patient visits. So we've got a nice group, and we don't have a lot of corporate interest. Of course, obviously,
You guys own your own
yeah,
practice.
we do have owners, right, who oversee or are the funds behind the operation, but we don't have large corporate interests saying, we still get to call the shots. You know, how long do you spend with a patient? We get to call those shots. We don't have somebody over.
Nurse Cratchit isn't out there with a stopwatch in the hall.
Right, yeah, we don't have that. So it's really gives us a lot of leeway to be able to spend as much time as we need with patients. If I need more time with somebody, I just tell the scheduling, I need more time. Great.
That's a nice luxury.
It is. I have to admit, it is nice to have that.
And you're located in Murray.
We are.
And tell me a little bit about the practice. So you've got a couple anesthesiologists
Mhm.
who help with overall patient care.
Yeah, we also do pain management, you know, for folks, because that's as we know, with the opioid epidemic crisis that's going on right now, it's really a dicey area. But we have very strict protocols of what we do to help people manage their medications so that we don't run into emergency situations. A lot of physicians from all around the Salt Lake area refer to us because we know how to wean people off of their medications correctly so they don't go into some type of panic mode or things like that, or get suicidal or